Public.
Peace.
Y'all feel that? The piano was good.
This is the Enemy's Public, and I am Bro.Nasir. This is the
This
vent.
is it right here, PJ. This is it.
Be sure that your truth is not lies. We're going to speak about mythology, mythological thoughts, things, beliefs.
One more chance. Look, if Timothy Taylor was given a chance to do it again, I would probably change a few things. I listen to me a bit more. I travel the world with 3 brides, no hate to each his own. My name will no longer be wise, you call me Jesus Jones. Pop off the hammer for jurors, return of a prodigal son. Go tell your favorite MCs to give him his style back, here he comes. If Timothy Taylor was given one chance to spit it again, he would rinse it till it's empty. Lock up to the track like Cindy. Black youth would come to the forefront. Hip hop would feed the masses. No weapon formed against us would prosper or harass us. I'd educate your babies. I'd teach black men to raise them. I'd civilize your ladies. I'd be Captain Save-A-Ho. If Timothy Taylor was given a second chance at life, I'd tell Shaheed and Culture that what we had was right. I wouldn't have let my sister be murdered on the train tracks. I wouldn't have watched my old earth expire in the projects. Intelligence given, one chance to make it whole. I'd buy back all your souls. I'd give you crowns of life. I'd bulldoze all the projects. I'd build ghettos of grandeur. Let Jada Kiss ask why. I'm here to provide the answers. No longer a need for black folk. See, physical labor's cheap. Job market a constant decline. They moving them overseas. Get money, the more the ghetto. Pitch coca, clap your fang. No love for the poverty stricken. You flick up and form the gang. If wise intelligence given a second chance to say this, I wouldn't water it down to compliment your radio playlist. I learned the hard way. There's no such thing as black broadcasters. They're simply puppets at the mercy of their slave masters. Whatever you think, believe in becomes the world around you. Poor people think abundance, riches will soon surround you. If wise intelligence given a chance to do it again, I'd think the thoughts of prophets. I'd rid the world of sin. For rappers, Jesus Jones has entered the building. That certain way you feeling about what I be talking about. Talk shit while I'm walking out. Never let hate control your thinking. I'm he who speaks believing, who hip hop fans are seeking. If Timothy Taylor was given a second chance at life, I would probably not even rap. I'd open schools abroad. If wise intelligence blessed with another chance to live, I would live for the love of the people, a little bit closer to God. I'd bind the broken hearted, free the captive, touch the blind, crush the grapes, save the grace, and prepare the wine. Forgive the sins of our fathers for which we suffer today. Return the sons of mothers who mourn from watch the Donnelly page. I'd organize the gangs. I'd give them the knowledge and know-how. I'd do this like Reginald Lewis. I'd teach them the lyrics, the buyouts. I'd give them a love for self. I'd wrestle with hell to be right. If Timothy Taylor was given another chance at life.
Peace. This is the enemy's public. I am Bro.Nasir. Today, I want to speak about mythologies, beliefs, and our lack of unity and us being able to come together without a bunch of foolishness. Now, we have the ability to come together, yet what we do when we come together is act a damn fool. Now, it's a lot of brilliant brothers and sisters with knowledge, yet having knowledge is not enough. Having knowledge don't make you a wise person. It only means that you have knowledge. Having the understanding of what you know will make you wise. I hear a lot of brothers saying things that I know that are truth. And I hear a lot of brothers saying things that they think is the truth, and it's not necessarily the truth. A lot of brilliance in these, what they call YouTube streets. And if you're saying something, that is the absolute truth. It's a good thing to a certain extent. Yet, if a student or someone who wants to learn from you ask you to explain it to them and you can't, then what would you do having that profound knowledge that you have without the ability to explain it to someone who's trying to learn from you? That's when extensive studying come in, research, not just searching and finding something. The first thing that you see when you click in your search engine is the first thing you take as the truth, and you start teaching it. And not only that, you can't learn. None of us can learn from that type of person either, because I hear outlandish things that come out people's mouths, and they say it, and they'll say it strong and emphatically, and I stand on it. Well, to those who stand on things that they haven't looked into, you need to check your shoes, look down and check your shoes, because you're standing on shit. And you shouldn't stand on shit. You're supposed to look down and watch where you're walking to be sure that you are not standing or walking through, or at least stepping on shit. So a lot of us stand on shit. And a lot of us, we like to dismiss anything that we don't understand or anything that we are not into or we just don't want to hear. Now, a myth is a traditional story, especially one concerning the early history of a people, or explaining some natural or social phenomenon, and typically involving supernatural beings or events. For example, the ancient Celtic myths. Now, a more simple definition of a myth, a symbolic narrative, usually of unknown origin and at least partly traditional, that's ostensibly relates actual events, and that is especially associated with religious beliefs. Now, that's not, that's a part of the definition of a myth. Yet a myth can be anything that you can dismiss or anything that you haven't witnessed yourself. Because in all actuality, seeing is believing. Seeing is believing. And you can dismiss anything that you haven't seen for yourself. So when people talk about things are myths, if you wasn't there, you really can't verify it, regardless to what it is. If you wasn't there, you can't verify it, and you could really dismiss it as a myth. Now, there are 4 types of myths. Now, the rational myth story, functional myth story, structural myth story or theory, and the psychological myth theory. Those are the 4 types of myths. Now, what are the 3 characteristics of a myth? Myths are often told as if they are factual. Myths include gods or goddesses, and these figures often have supernatural powers. Myths include an explanation for how something came into the world. Myths often teach morals to their audience. Those are characteristics of a myth. In literature, yet anything that you haven't seen, haven't witnessed, can be dismissed as a myth. Now, even when it comes down to one of the oldest debates, arguments that's discussed today, that's globe against flat earth. If you haven't been up high enough to see whether or not the earth is flat or if it's round, you can't say which one is truth. And you shouldn't say which one is truth, which is why I say when that discussion is had, is I don't care. I just want to know how much of this earth belongs to our people. That's what I deal with. I don't care how it shapes. People are dealing with how it's shaped, and they actually have organizations and movements that's dealing with the shape of the planet. If it was ours, we can carve it out to shape the way we want it to shape it. But if we don't own it, whatever the owners of the planet say the shape is, so be it. We don't own none of it. Even our little acres that we have, it's nothing in comparison to what the so-called elites have. And not only that, I've known people who had land and was not willing to fight for their land and ended up losing their land. Do you have, or do we have, a army to protect our land, the land that we have? If you don't, loopholes can be created if you're not willing to fight anyway. People will come in, attempt to take your land. Now, speaking of army, I want to speak briefly about the Hebrew Israelites. As far as their faith, I don't subscribe to it, not align with none of that ideology. But one thing I can say about the Hebrew Israelites is something that they displayed earlier this week was it warmed my heart to see as brothers standing and acting on behalf of another brother and standing strong and acting on behalf of another brother. In ranks, in file, marching down the street, ready. That warmed my heart. They were seen as a hate group and they didn't say anything hateful about anyone. See, that's the thing with our enemy. When they see us standing together, it's frightening to them because they depend on our isolation. They depend on us not being unified and ready to fight, not with each other, yet on each other's behalf. Now, those brothers displayed strength the other day in New York. And again, I don't share their ideology, their faith. Yet, if I seen one of those brothers getting into it with somebody, as long as it's not one of us, I will be in that. I don't care about what they believe as a faith. We have to get out of that and find some commonality. If not, our commonality is going to be both of our demise. Because if we can't find who your allies are and who your enemies are, you are in a very vulnerable situation. And I think we look to each other for the wrong reason. We look to each other as each other's adversary, not each other's ally. And we have too many of us causing confusion and causing suspicion among each other. I said that before. Every time you turn around, if a brother do stand up, you say it's fake, he's phony, he's an agent, don't trust him. And when he don't stand up, there's something wrong with that. You can't have brothers and sisters with the damn if you do, damn if you don't. That's not right, especially when the ones who are doing all the talking is not doing anything. Now, we have a whole lot of brothers who stand up and sisters who stand up and act on our behalf. But our problem is we never think they're real. The only ones who are real is sitting in their living room or wherever they at in their house, in front of their camera, in front of their computer or their phone. That's the only real one, not the one that's out there actually doing the work. That person's phony. That person's phony. And the ones who are actually out there on the battlefield, not in the safety of their home, not in a comfort zone, those are the ones that are considered the agents, the boule, the gatekeeper, the sellout, the coon. Now, there's obvious coons out there. You know, the Charles Barkleys, the Stephen A. Smiths, the Shaquille O'Neals, the Shannon Sharps, quite a few. It's a few coons out there, obvious coons. Yet we have brothers and sisters who are standing and acting on our behalf, and the thanks that they get is being called a coon or an agent, or the person is not real. If the person is not doing enough, whatever they're not doing, one of us should be doing, because they can't do everything. They can't. We have to make sure when we are speaking our truth, I want to say it like this. Sometimes people's truth are lies. You have to make sure that your truth is not lying. So if your truth is a lie, that's what you are. So when we pass information off to our people, we want to make sure it's for the better good of us all of us, because none of us can rise above the condition of our people. Yes, some of us think we can. And if we, as Dr. Neely Fuller taught us, if you don't understand racism, white supremacy, anything that you think you understand will only confuse you. Now, the trick that our enemy use against us when they want to punish us is isolation. They can never do what they do to any of us without isolation. What I mean by isolation is take Kyrie Irving, for instance. If everybody stood with him, everybody, they couldn't have done that. If everybody stood with him. If Shaquille O'Neal, big buffoonish ass, stood with Kyrie, this could have never have been, they could have never have gone as far as they did, as far as dragging the brother and breaking him down. They could have never have done that. If we stand with each other, when they come after one of us, they can't come after us and do what they do to us. But when they get us alone and isolate us, it's easy for them to do what they do to us. Again, when it comes to this sport and play, I'm really not into it, but I'm dealing with the subject at hand and how they're doing the brother. I used to be into it, but I'm not into it now because it's a distraction. It's a weapon of mass distraction. Yet now what they're doing to our brother can be done to any of us. Why? Our behavior. Their behavior is bad, but our behavior is worse because we allow it. Now, the brother Kyrie Irving was given a list of demands that was just outright unreasonable. Yet because we as a people, I'm not talking about those who support him, I'm speaking about we as a people in totality. And especially those who are his colleagues should have been supporting him. And those who put asses in those seats in those stadiums should have been supporting him. Now, if somebody tell you that you are anti-Semitic and you're not, they're defaming your character. And if you tell them you don't feel that way about certain people, you don't feel that way, it's the same as them saying all of my friends are black or some of my best friends are black, knowing damn well they don't have any friends at all that are black. Yet they'll say, to save face, that some of my best friends are black. Now, and then you never see them with their best friends. You always see them with the second best friend, who's one of them who look like them. Now, they'll tell any of us that we're anti-Semitic. And then they'll isolate us and they'll punish us, break us down before all of us. And we all witness it. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said to us, which is the absolute truth, that our unity is more powerful than a nuclear bomb. I want to say that again. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said to us 50 years ago that our unity is more powerful than a nuclear bomb. And we're not getting that yet. We're not getting it yet. Now, Brother Knowledge X, peace, good brother. How are you doing today, brother? Now, Messenger Muhammad was right then, and he's right now. And we can't seem to do it. And we have to realize that the power that some of these people have is perceived power based on the fear that we have. We need to stop being so capitulating and thinking that we have risen above the condition of our people, and also paper chasing to the point that we lose all sight of who we are and what we should be doing as a people. If you have hundreds of millions of dollars, why would you be $100 million slave or coon when you have the power to have anything that you want? You can't speak free with all that. You are useless. And that's what you call a useless eater. With all that money and no power. And what Shaq said was such a fiddler of a statement. He said that we have to deal with all this because of what Kyrie did. That is the slave mentality. And then Skip actually said that the owner, Kyrie's owner, denounced him, called the man his owner. And that's crazy. Now, he didn't say the owner of the team. He said owner. Peace to mind's eye. Peace. Now, their real them is coming out. And the real us need to come out. We need the warriors. People get the phrase war mixed up. War doesn't always mean violence. So when somebody say war, it's not always violence. Because What they're doing to our brothers is an act of war. When they come out and they ridicule our brother, drag him before the public, put a list of demands that he got to do that's ridiculous, deprive him of doing his job, you know. And my sentiment about that, about them suspending him for those days, is really suspect to me because he's owed money by them first. And I think they're trying to suspend him for enough days to make it even because they don't want to pay him the money he's owed back because in the state of New York, all those who was terminated and terminated from their employment for not taking the jab, it was deemed unconstitutional, and everybody gets back pay, and some of them have to be rehired according to the labor board and according to the United States Constitution. They deemed it unconstitutional, and Kyrie Irving is one of those who is in that category. And also, Kyrie's confidence really bothered them. His demeanor and his confidence bother them. When you got a brother who's cool, calm, and collective, not yelling, acting like a Negro, and not cussing and using all kinds of profanity and not ranting and raving, they don't like that because they thought they had a nigga on their hands when the brothers just spoke what was on his mind, and they're not used to that. Those type of brothers frighten our enemy. Yes, they are our enemy. And we have to distinguish our enemies from our friends. You're not going to tell me you're my friend and I don't feel it. I have to feel that. You're going to tell me that, okay, you're my friend, yet you're dragging me, before my people, treating me like the slave that bucked, and you're punishing me in front of the other slaves because I'm trying to stir up the good niggers. Peace to Fact Check It TV. Good to see you. And I'm gonna put the link in. Anybody want to come up can be my guest. I'm just sort of venting today. No particular subject, just sort of venting. Now, our enemy, they are mortal. You name it, they're that type of enemy to us. Just name the type of enemy you could have, and these people are that type of enemy to us. We're not that type of enemy to them. They're that type of enemy to us because we don't do to them what they do to us. There's a difference. And there's a difference of being at war and war being waged against you. War has been waged against us. We don't engage on any level. On any level do we engage with war with them. We don't engage with war with them on an educational level, medical, food, physical, business. We don't engage in war with the science of mating and family. We don't engage in war with them at all. But war has been waged against us on every level. We just don't fight. We don't fight. And when you have, and you know what? Every war that's been waged against us and everything that happened against us in our sojourn in this wilderness of North America, they could have never done it without one of us. Never. Never could they do it without us. It's always one of us who was there when the planning happened. Peace to the brother Fact Checked It TV.
Salute, my brother. I hope your day and so-called holidays is going okay.
Well, I'm having a nice Thursday, brother.
Yeah, I don't know how to put it. Some people love it. Some people, it's a day. That's how I feel. I'm thankful every day. But great topic, my brother.
It's been 40 plus years, brother, since I did any of that, brother. 40 plus years. So I don't celebrate the holidays, brother. Yeah, I'm just venting, brother. You know, that's why I called it the vent. And I just put the title up. You know, we have to make sure that our truth was not lies, brother. Because people don't go around believing things because it's a lie. They believe it because they think it's the truth. So we have to make sure that our truth are not lies. And I spoke about mythology earlier. Anything can be dismissed as a myth if either one of us witnessed it. If you didn't witness it, you can say you don't believe it, right?
Facts.
And you can dismiss it as a myth.
Facts.
When we start using these words like mythology or mythological, we can say that about anything. I wasn't there, so I could say, well, I don't believe it, because seeing is believing. It's the same thing like I spoke earlier about the flat earth against the globe. How many of us been that high to make that determination emphatically, whether it's either one? My sentiment is I don't even care. But how many of us can verify that? None of us. None of us can verify it.
Facts. As much as I love saying that I'm flat power, it really don't matter on a bigger level. Like you say, I don't think our enemy, I don't think that if we say flat earth that I am, or round earth, I don't think that'll make any type of effect on so-called black people's lives. And there's a bigger enemy out there than that. So you're right about that.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Because it's not going to change our dynamic. But if a lot of it was ours, we can shape it the way we want to shape it, carve it out how we want it to shape it.
Facts. But I think that is an enemy in NASA. Like you were saying, I think one of our enemies, I don't think it's globe earth or flat earth. I don't think that'll cause it. I think it's the CEOs of NASA and the CEOs of all these companies and all these European and the so-called people, them people that you can't talk about. I think them the ones that bring a lot of these myths. Like when it comes to they went to Mars. Our so-called black people pay like billions of dollars inside the taxes for that every month, every year. I mean, and we don't see no revenue out of there. So I don't think flat earth or globe earth is our problem. I think the enemy is the CEOs of NASA, though, that takes all of our money and we get nothing out of it. But
Now that I agree with wholeheartedly. And I think it's really, a waste of taxpayers' money. Peace to Brother Shan TV. I think it's a total waste. And I think it's a way to grease their palms on an agency that's just useless. And that, to me, I always thought, and I said this probably back in the 90s, that the whole moon landing was like a Hollywood production. That's what I always thought it was. I never believed that.
I agree with you. I just know that our enemies are having a war, like you said, against us. And my opinion of it is we don't let them grasp so much game. I don't know if we could hand to hand beat them in a war just like that. I don't think it could just be a war. Okay, well, a whole bunch of the melanated copper tone people gonna get together and we're gonna go to war with the powers that have the war weapons. I think us exposing, like, look, man, NASA, we paying too much money in this stuff. Look, what Malcolm X was doing was correct, and we got to implement that. In his times, he could have been better if we'd have known about the red line laws that messed with so-called black. So I'm just like, you're right. There's plenty of enemies out here that we can attack. Going off what you was talking about, my brother. But I digress.
Indeed, and to your point, brother. No one as of now, this moment while we're talking, can outfight them, can outbeat them in violence to this day, even though their military is full of us. Yet we haven't evolved into such wickedness, because we have a conscious and we have incredible restraint when it comes to doing something to them, but we so willingly and able, we do it to each other in a heartbeat. And that's the problem I have. But it would be suicide to attempt to fight these people violently. Yet if we stood strong and let them know that we are together, that's a big start. And that's what they really, that's what they really depend on, a lack of unity. That's why they isolate us when they want to do something to us. And then they get some of us to pile on one of us on their behalf. You know how they do the nudge to somebody else they're paying to say something about you, when all we had to do is shut our mouth and say, look, I'm a commentator. We're talking about the game. We're not talking about this person. We're not talking about that person. I don't do that. But some of us think because the mic is in our face and the camera's in our face that we have to say something. And they give them a nudge. Peace to Brother Shan TV. How you doing, good brother?
Shouts out, man. Respect to you, enemies public, and who's the? I'm not seeing the name. Is that
fact words, my brother? Fact check. Dre. Word, Dre. Salute, my brother.
Yeah, they are.
Peace and power to you, brother.
Peace and power to you, brother. Thanks for coming.
I think we all do have a common enemy as the melanated brothers.
I'm mute up. Sorry.
You got it, brother, Dre.
Oh, no, I think we do have a common enemy, and they divide and conquer us, because some of our brothers, are in Africa. I claim this side of the pond, and some of our brothers are in the island. But I think as a united front, they destroy all of our family, and they kill us with laws. And they kill us with ignorance that we have and with GMO food. And just my opinion of it, it's a great topic that we all have to start talking about as one people, except for saying fuck them blacks or forget them Africans, or you know how we do it on YouTube. I'm guilty of it. But I'm just trying to say it's a good topic to attack the problems that destroy all of us. But I digress.
Indeed. Peace, knowledge, X. How you doing, good brother?
Peace. I'm good, fam. How the chat on the panel and chat doing?
I'm pretty good, brother. Enjoying this Thursday off. I don't celebrate the holidays, but
absolutely not.
Shouts out.
Salute my brother X. Salute X.
Salute everybody. Great Peace. Topic. I'm gonna hop in when it's necessary. I'm listening. Y'all build.
Yeah, me too. I got y'all. I'm gonna mute up, and when it's my time, I'll jump in. I did want to say something. I sent it in the chat. Really, basically, I was telling y'all that. Before I mute up, let me just get it real quick. I was saying that to beat them basically is to unsub to their systems, because if you do that right there, it's like if you don't have anybody that subscribing to your, like, just say if you had a channel and shit, you had nobody watching your damn channel, how many videos would you naturally post? you'd have to stop after a while. So it's like unsubbing to the system is the greatest breakdown. And because look, they depended on our energy. Our money is our energy. So they're depending on they don't really care about us. They would rather us be a group of people who don't think, and we just basically follow a system that's just laid out. So what we should do is to start to think and then just unsubscribe to the system so that they have no, it's like being in a boxing ring and then you have no opponent. Who you gonna box with? You shadow boxing, right? So what we have to do is just basically start a civilization of our own, a language of our own. Let's get away from their system in a sense, like basically like that. You can do that right there in front of their faces, just like a motherfucker you could pass by without saying good morning and shit. Like, I mean, I'm just saying, without violence, just unsub to the system that they use in order to gain profits. Take away their profits is like pulling the rugs right up under their feet. I regress.
I mean, I agree with you, brother. You know,
I want to ask you, me and my brother, Big Dog Philly, we have a couple of disagreements, but I'm saying that he has a great point when it says, like, I'm putting it with what you're saying. Like when you say unsubscribe from their system, I'm saying certain parts of their system destroyed us or took us off our hemisphere, like church. I'm not gonna say religion. I'm just gonna try to say that I just don't think it was ours. So I'm just asking you what like if we was gonna say no to certain parts of their system, what you think would be like the first parts? Because I think like let me make sure I say this right. Like redlining. I would try to get some people together and we go to the courts and say, look, y'all redlined us for like 30 years, so that economically fucked us off. We don't want y'all credit system cause of that, but we still need remedy. And then
beautiful
like,
idea.
My autograph.
It's a beautiful idea to me, brother. Beautiful idea. See, me, with my age, I've grown a little wiser with my research and my sojourn and my travels. I deal with the commonality of what we have in common, ourselves and who our enemy is. That's our commonality, because I understand that some people move off their faith. They do. And if a brother is willing to stand back to back with me and go up against our open and consistent enemy, you think because he's a Christian or a Muslim or a Hebrew Israelite, I'm going to turn my back on him or I'm going to shun him or send him away? Hell no. Our like minds and what we know that we need for our people is more important than us fighting over some damn religion or fighting or we're going back and forth because this brother has faith and I don't. That's you. Because some of us don't realize that our sojourn and our upbringing is probably what attracted you to that brother or that sister in the first place, because of what we're doing, and what's moving us. I don't do that.
No, I agree with you. I was just saying.
I don't do that.
Nah, I agree with you because I'm so-called a non-believer, but I was just saying certain things in the system that knocked us off, and certain people agree with that, but I'm saying he said that we need to get out their system. Yeah. I'm like, what parts of the system? Like if we have like a 3-point or like the FBA are doing, we got a 5-point system. Like what would be like the 5 points of the system? Like I shouldn't have said that. That was a bad.
No, brother. No. That was intricate, brother. What you said was intricate. I'm just saying I don't. That's not something that I do. Now, the aforementioned thing that you mentioned is the absolute truth, because it did take us off our square. It did. And all those things we need to just get rid of.
But you're correct, though.
But at the same time, if a brother come to me and he want to help, and I watch him on a protracted period, and he prove himself to be who he say he is, that's brother.
Yeah, I was wrong in that. I should have came off and said maybe the food, like maybe all of us need to like, if like say, okay, we need to get out their system. Like one maybe need to be food, self-education, maybe a field of cotton. That's all I was just asking my brother, and I brought up a wrong example because you're right. Judging the person off their religion will fuck us up though, because it'll divide and conquer.
Yeah, let me just interject real quick, and that's a good thing. There's many different dimensions basically to the system, and we can only exist we're existing in all of them, right? But we can focus on one at a time. So let's deal with the system, like the money system, like the banks, removing all your bread from the banks and just keeping your bread on you at home, using it how you please, and don't give the banks a chance. That's the first. See, you got to cripple the system that they worship or follow, which is the money. And we deal with wordplay, so if you turn money around and take the tail off the Y, we got the word venom straight away. So they dealing with the venom, or our energy, basically. That's what it turns into when it turns into that paper, that legal tender. So this is what they basically follow. And if we detach ourselves from some of the points and the parts that they actually worship, then they don't have nobody basically to actually use this to hang over their heads. So one by one, we cripple in the systems by detaching ourselves smartly by it. So now when we take our monies out of the banks, then we get powerful enough to make our own bank. You get it?
I agree with that. I do agree with that, because it's the reason they put "In God We Trust" on their money.
Right.
That's gold.
Exactly.
That stands
so
for
one
gold.
by one, one by one,
oil,
get
and
the
diamonds.
bank. There you go. I'm
gold, oil, and diamonds. You know what I'm saying? That's, and their money is their God, and that would be a huge point of interest in the system to detach ourselves. It would, because if it's not physical war, it would have to be money as far as us, and then educating our people on the such things that we're trying to detach ourselves from. Because if they don't know about it, like we all didn't know about it at a point in time, you think it's the way it is. But that would be the best thing, is the money, because that's what they love. And we have the biggest spending power. That's us. But
I agree.
I hate to bring up Kanye.
I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly, because that's the power and influence that they actually use against us. And the main reason why some of us capitulate is because of the money. The money is the power when it comes to the so-called elite, because most of these brothers do what they do because of that. You think if Shaq was in Newark, he'll be talking the way he talk?
Absolutely not.
He was not be talking that way if he was still in Newark. They trying to make sure they're not back here with us, bro.
Exactly. That's not the goal. It's not the goal to hustle backwards. The goal is to hustle forward. Always.
Exactly. I want to be damn sure that he want to be damn sure that he's not back in Newark. And all the rest of them, and because Kyrie's a Jersey cat too. He's from East Orange, which is like right by Newark. I'm a Jersey cat. And these brothers trying to make sure they're not back here with us. And anybody else who's out there cooning, selling out, capitulate, and want to make sure that they're not back, no matter how much money they get, it's not enough to them. And it's really something that they actually have over their heads, because if you could have that kind of money and then all of a sudden don't have it, did you really have it in the first damn place?
No, if something can be taken from you, I'm a strong believer. If something can be taken from you, you don't own it, and it's not yours.
Exactly. And that's when all of us come in, though, brother. If all of us stood tall with the least one of us and let them know, look, you're going to have to do that to all of us. 9 times out of 10, a coward, you can sniff a coward out. Straight up, you can sniff them out, and they're going to show that they're a coward because they don't really want to deal with all of us, because that's the reason why they isolate us. They can't do it if we're not isolated. What they did to Kanye, what they did to Colin Kaepernick, what they did to Kyrie Irving, and what they did to Nick Cannon, is what they'll do is they'll isolate the brother, get some of us to pile on them. And we do it because they said so, not because we agree, it's because they said so.
Mm-hmm.
They give them the nudge. Who pay you? Give them the nudge, and then they'll pile on them. And some of us will willingly do it, though, bro.
Yeah, and they give them a couple talking points to speak on, as they did Shaq, who obviously didn't know what he was talking about. Because if you're going to criticize a young man and call him an idiot, and then you wait a year before this time, sell the same movie at your theater, you have no business acumen of what's going on in your own business. You have
Fact.
no reason to speak on somebody. That just shows you puppets. Because
Who's
if
the
I was
idiot?
that, I would have been like, you know what? I just don't know. And people are scared to say sometimes, or they don't want to seem uneducated to say, I don't know. I'm not abreast enough on that subject to speak on it. I just don't know. They want to speak and look stupid, like Shaq.
Exactly. Now, it has to be a because they said so narrative, unless everybody who sat there on Sports Center or these other stations, if they didn't go and watch the movie and saw for themselves whether they could say yay or nay, they did it because they said do it. Shaq probably watched the movie, but it's evident he didn't because he didn't even know he was in his damn theater.
Exactly. And I was
So he didn't watch it.
I was paying close attention to that too. The first couple of days, just to see if they commented on the what happened in the movie, a certain part of the movie. Nobody said nothing. The only person I heard honestly say something was Jason Whitlock, and that was after a few days. He said, I watched the movie and it was boring as hell. But you know what I'm saying? He went and said he watched it to understand what Kyrie was talking about. Because mind you, Jason didn't even know that the white Jews, the Ashkenazi Jews are not really considered the chosen Jews. He didn't even know that. So he couldn't rightfully criticize him until he went and watched the movie, which I was paying attention. He didn't. You know what I'm saying? So I give him that. Now, he didn't say he agreed with him or nothing, but at least he watched the movie to have an opinion on it.
And at least he did.
I'm just saying that. Do y'all get the like?
Ridicule it, brother. I was surprised.
Do y'all think that these people? Do y'all think that Kanye and these people that's on TV that know one false move to get your head cut off? You don't think that they have a brainstorm or a think tank for every move they make?
I think Kanye's doing it. I think everything he's doing is planned. Honestly,
Now, what I'm saying is like, yeah, you're right. Like, there you go. That's what I was trying to get at him because because Kyrie ain't do nothing. All he did was text a message and got in trouble.
Exactly.
What Kanye did.
Yeah. Now I think it's a plan.
Yeah.
So I mean,
now, but I think that Kyrie played along with it because the brainstorming team that's backed by the NBA Association and other so-called copper-colored or black guy or however whatever we call ourselves that they're speaking up saying that wasn't allowed. Now Kyrie Irving about to get some money, but you know what I'm saying? Like this might be a good move for power and political influence, just not political, but just energy influence for this man. Like they understand energy too, so the world is being sympathetic with him. Now he got a lot of energy going with him. But when we talk about Kanye West, I don't know I don't know how to look at this man because now they're trying to say, because I don't agree with cryptocurrency, but I agree that if there's a man that has some type of intellectual property and some type of property, like y'all said, like my brother Shan said, we should try to get our own currency with it. And I'm seeing that's what Kanye doing. He about to make his own so-called currency off his Donda School property and his so-called clothing property. And he might be a monkey do, and we're gonna see the monkey. We're gonna be the monkey sees. If y'all monkey see, monkey do. Man, I know that sounds evil as us as a people because they kill all of our information through the TV and through information. So we have to see something good for us to take that momentum and do it. And I just
That's us, brother.
I think Kanye on his mission, but I hope that I'm saying it right though. I just think that it's going along with the subject that these people, I ain't saying they're doing it on purpose, but whatever the powers at hand is forcing them to get their own kind of currency and do their own thing. And I think that's going to be a breath for the united front of us, without aggression.
I agree. I think it is. You know what I mean? I mean, now whether he's doing it for his personal, the start of his crusade was personal. That's between him. You know, he knows that. Or whether he was doing it for the greater good of us or God, as he say. Only he knows that. But I do know it woke a lot of people up to actually look at the Jewish people, not as far as who's, you know, controlling the music industry, but just as far as they controlling Hollywood and they controlling certain movies and putting things out about us and shaping the narrative about us long ago. I heard a lot of people speaking about that they never talked about that before. Now, I will give him that, regardless.
No, I was against that. I'm not gonna go ahead, brother.
Regardless what the seeds of what the tree was planted for, it just matter what fruits it bears.
Yeah, you know? I agree with you, brother. But Kanye, he said it. Even though what he said was the truth and everything he spoke was like factual, I question his motives on why he said it. Because Kanye wants nearness to those people, and he's mad because the people don't want him and not letting him be equal with them. And you can't be equal with them. They'll never let us be equal with them. And that's the problem he had with them. So he thought he spilled the beans. But everything
Unless what?
Everything Kanye said, I knew 30 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless what though? Like you said, we can't be even with them unless.
I didn't say unless. I said he can't be even. They would never let one of us be.
Yes, I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you that Kanye want to be a so-called Jew, or that's wrong to say. Kanye want to be on the class level of the Almighty Powerful.
Exactly.
Yeah, something like that. And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So there's he can't do it unless. See, there's one way he could do it, and he's showing us the blueprint. Unless, like my brother Shane said,
you got something, brother. You got something there, brother. Yes. Go ahead.
Unless Shane, like what Shane said, because I don't agree with cryptocurrency and that old going against the American dollar. But if you have a $500 million and the financial backing and currency and the spirit going along with you, and you a melanated black, copper, whatever we call ourselves, it's time for you to take your money, get free, and get your own private money, which now they're showing through FTX. My fault. See, I know I'm going to Pluto, but I'm coming right back. See, FTX is this so-called cryptocurrency, and I was happy they failed because I was a hater. How you dumbass niggas doing this cryptocurrency stuff? But now I understand that was an FBI agency showing that cryptocurrency is bad for the people that don't know how to use it. And if they say that's something that we don't know how to use, that's where we need to go.
Indeed.
So I'm saying that I'm not looking and saying Kanye ain't egotistical, because I would be egotistical too. But I think at this time right now, he's showing the blueprint with people that want to get out this system, how to do it with that cryptocurrency. And I'm against that cryptocurrency shit, but it's the truth when it comes to you want to get out the system, but I digress.
Yeah, I have trust issues, brothers.
Right.
I really have trust issues when it comes to like government agencies. I have trust issues. And my wife had to convince me to get like cards and direct deposit and all that. I'm that type of person that it's not yours, it's in your pocket. Right. That's when it's yours.
That's when me with crypto. I like to touch it. I like to touch my money. I don't know about everybody else, but I like to feel it. It's telling me I got something and I don't have it in my hand. Do I really have it?
Exactly. You know why? Because they can easily go and deplete your forms on a computer. And that's why I don't trust.
Right.
That's what I don't trust. You're looking at your account and all your shit gone because of their vindictiveness. You said something and did something they don't like, and all of a sudden your money's gone.
There you go. Now I see that's something why I brought up TFX or FTX or whatever the hell it's called. The dude, Friedman and Bankman, they exposed the whole banking system that just went down. That the banking system we in now with the dollar that I love more than any other system. Look, these people could take your money and they do whatever they want to it, and they could take your money just like they did Kanye West. Exactly. So as much as I am in love with the dollar, they do the same thing with the dollar as they do with that cryptocurrency, but we're allowed to make our own cryptocurrency if we know how to do it. And I think that's going to backfire on them trying to cut us out the game, but there's some smart so-called black people, whatever we call ourselves, You know what I'm saying? That can weave through this system and make it beneficial for us. That's why I brought up TFX or whatever it was that just failed, because the government agency want us to be skeptical of it. But that's the way that's the way that I think that we can harm them. Like my brother was saying at the bottom, Shan, that I think that's the way we can get out. If Kanye, I'm rooting on Kanye, if that's the way I'm saying. I just think that's the way to get outside their dollar system. But it's still dangerous, like you said, because it's still putting another financial human over our stuff. So it's a, you know what I'm saying? It's a dangerous game, but I gotta say that we can't do it unless. That's why I try to say there's an unless there now, and it's called that cryptocurrency. But I digress.
But they're hoping that there's not some of us, that's brilliant among us. They're hoping that, but we got so many brilliant brothers and sisters that, we find a way to, even if they have, they set up weapons of mass distraction, they set up ways to try to take things from us. There's always one of us who got an answer to that. But they bank on us being stupid, which is never really the issue when it boils down to it.
Yeah.
I don't understand shit about cryptocurrency, but I know there's two things. There's the fundable and there's the non-fundable, whatever. They got these little different names. But when I understand that one is talking about property, personal property, and the other is talking about cash money. I forget the 3 letters. One is 3 letters. One is a non-fundable, whatever it is, and the other one is a FX or FT and an NFT. Yeah, NFT and an FT. So now I understand you're dealing with the same thing money dealing with. You're dealing with instrument, you're dealing with credit, or you're dealing with liquid money.
Yeah.
So now most of us most of us people, whatever we call ourselves over here in this sphere, black, whatever it is, because I know a lot of this crazy around this world right now. But if most of us don't have $500 million worth of currency that's flowing, you know what I'm saying? Like Kanye West, he has actual entities,
right,
that are flowing right now spiritually and through the internet, that are flowing 100 miles an hour. If he accidentally said, because that's what all the white people are rooting for this dude. I'm getting this information from the white people, like he about to come out with his own cryptocurrency. I'm like, wow, that's all he said he want to do is be free. So this subject goes back to what my brother Shan was saying, that I just think there's a person out here that's doing I call it the unless, that we cannot do it as a people unless there's a powerful, egotistical motherfucker that got a whole bunch of backing that's going to back itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I agree with Brother Shan. We got to unsub to their systems. We got to, just get out of their system. I agree with that.
Absolutely. Only thing scary.
But we got to do it smart, though.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a process. It's a process. It's not something we can do overnight. It's a process, and it's going to take all of us. And it's going to take the assistance of all of us to each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, you guys are right. I've been listening, and I'm saying that the process is just like that. It's like, let's just say, like they formed the head of let's say they formed Voltron or whatever. So if we take out piece by piece, by the end of the day, they ain't gonna have nothing left. And we could start with the greatest piece that probably would cripple them the most, maybe. You know what I'm saying? We all are educated enough about the systems all over the world. Basically, it don't matter where you at. As long as you conscious, you're supposed to know what's going on in this world. So what we're saying is this: if we are able to take out the most important system that they have indoctrinated us into, then we go with the next important, and we deal with it by stages. And while we take ourselves out of that system, say for instance, if we started with the bank, now if we had at least how much billion people do we even have there? Like 9, right? So if it's like let's say it's about maybe 3 or 4 billion people that's withdrew from their banks, and that those for 3 billion people, indigenous people, basically said we're going to make our own bank. So while we withdraw from them, we build our own. So we don't have to even think about going back to their banking system. We already know how it works and know how the shit is done. You know what I mean? We just put it together in our own right. Next, you detach yourself from the healthcare system. We don't need to go to their doctors anymore. So now it's like crippling them, just like you said. If there's a millionaire or billionaire that has money and you take all that money from under their feet, what you think gonna happen? They're gonna be crippled. It's like they ain't gonna know what to do. Just imagine. So
Peace.
if we do that right there, bro, that's the first and that's the most common and easy, less non-violent way that they would least expect, because they're expecting violence and pushbacks and all sorts of other things. Do it strategically, all right? And strategically, mathematically, basically. And that's the only way.
Indeed. We have to stop letting them really predetermine what we're going to do when something happened with us. They can predetermine to the point that they stage it. We have to, have them actually not necessarily wondering what we're going to do, but not knowing what we're going to do. And all those things you mentioned, one by one. If we have our own doctors, which we do,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? We have people that's financially inclined. We have our own teachers. Anything that consists of being a nation outside of dependence on
We
them.
have it.
Yeah, we have.
We have it. We could
Yeah,
start a whole civilization right now without any advertisement or advertise. We don't have to broadcast nothing. We can just basically simply withdraw and start our own civilization without no motherfucking apology, bro. And why? Who's there to stop us about starting our own civilization? Come on.
It goes back to what I said. You said, who's there to stop us? No one, if we stick together.
No one.
They have this thing called isolation. They'll take one and they isolate that person. If that person has that idea and we present that idea to our people, they're going to isolate that person, ridicule that person, and then gets the ignorant among us pile on that person too. That's their trick. We need to stop falling for that trick and tell them, no, not this time. We with our brother. That's it. We with him. Whichever one have the idea that's going to free us as a people, and they willing to take what they have and start it up, all we do is we pile on that. Let's pile on that instead of on our brother.
I don't know if Kanye with the system, but I just think he's the blueprint of what everybody is talking about. That's just I'm not a Kanye fan. I think he messed up.
No, I'm not either. I question his motives. I really question his motives because if first I question why he's doing it and why he said what he said. He's disgruntled with them, so he did it for that reason. So that's why I question his motives. But he knew what they was when he got involved with them.
Yeah, like a pesky little brother and shit that you beat up, took away his shit. He mad. He gonna start telling all your business and shit.
Exactly.
Tell you, you know what I mean? It's something like that. Cause look, if you were a person who was able to be coerced to even be a part of such a system, then you already went wrong. What is it that you could possibly tell us now? You've crossed over, unless you have shown us that you have become an infiltrator for the system for us. Now, coming back to us, it's going to be very hard to prove to us that that's what you did, because you took part in a lot of sinister activity that a lot of us wouldn't do, such as the sacrifices. Now, these things right here are inexcusable to any man that would be against such acts. So I regress.
Now, as far as the sacrifice, that's something that I think he should have never said. He should have never said that because
Yeah, that's
it shined a light on himself
yeah,
because whose sacrifice would that be besides his? It's his mother.
right.
Right. Who would
That's
gain off?
that's like sauce to the spaghetti, bro.
That's
It's like,
stupid to me.
you know
But
what I
they said
mean?
that he said they was sacrificed. So as much as I don't like people in contracts, there's a there's a black hand in America that will sacrifice the fuck about some shit. And if you say something else, they will sacrifice the fuck out of everything and throw it in your face. Then say the white man did it while the white man telling you the white man did it. So I ain't trying to say that he is a good person or a bad person. I'm trying to say there's a economic system that we all hate. And Kanye West is the king of exposing it to its fullest level. Like, look, man, the system of how you sacrificing your mom, you'll get your mom sacrificed. This system
Okay,
will kick you
I
out
see
the
what you're
banking
saying.
system. This
Yeah.
system don't like black folks. He even said Bush. He said this before this shit. He said, look, man, look
Yeah,
at all you fucking black folks, Africans, and Caribbeans down there in New Orleans drowning. So it ain't no really race thing. It's this system don't like us.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, he do say some weird shit that I think that at this pivotal point, there's a lot of oath takers and people that have sacrificed, or the system has sacrificed their people, whichever way it go. At this time, it's a pivotal point where I see a lot of power heads stand up. And I don't understand their motives, but I think they're enemies of our enemies. But I digress on that.
Yeah.
Got a point. That's why you got to be careful. As I said, if you've already been taking part in such activities in which is not acceptable to men and women such as us, now how is it that people will be so acceptable to what you are now trying to shed lights on?
Yeah, I think the brother really he tired out. You can see it in his demeanor and his face. He tired out. Sometimes a person they'll get into it and not realize just how tiring it is. And some of them just tire out and just start, and we think they're crazy, but they're being driven crazy.
Yes, because signing a contract, if we know, we have two type of words in this life of as above, so below. You know, you have a protract and a contract. We've never been introduced to a protract, but a contract would be the pros and the cons, right? The cons is bad. So is a track. Track is a tractual agreement, right? So it's a bad tractual or negative tractual agreement. Now, what happened with the contract is that it's been signed for your energy.
Yes.
Now, your energy is just you going to Tokyo, you going to London, you going over there, you doing the interview with ABC, you doing it on BET. This is your energy. So he didn't realize that this is what the signing over and the sacrificing of whatever it is that you got the sacrifice is going to comprise of. Now, your energy is your life force. Your life force is now, you're losing your life force little by little by exalting or exerting your energy for these people. So over a period of time, you if just imagine if you're losing your life force, you're gonna get weak. You're gonna get weak, bro. And when you get weak, you start to basically you're able to be caught up with certain things that can get you because they're stronger than you now. You lost your life force. Basically, that's what they do. Drag your energy down till you have nothing left. And you look, sound, and feel and act crazy according to them because you're losing your life force.
They do
Sign
control our
away.
energy in a weird way.
Yeah.
So the only example I could say, as much as I don't like this entity of a person, I'm not gonna put their name to it, but they transitioned our clothes from man clothes to everybody could wear clothes, and a lot of his stuff looked like it belonged on Mars, but his music was phenomenal. And I don't agree with the woman he has, but they had 4 of his children, and then his mom got mixed up in this so-called situation he put himself in. So I don't really, his forces is skeptical to mine, but I'm just saying he's a blueprint of why we shouldn't be in the system. Because you
Yeah.
can't
You gotta,
speak your
you
mind.
gotta
That's all I'm
think.
saying. But I digress.
No, you got it. You on it, man. Go ahead.
And plus, him really wanting nearness to them. It's plenty of people he could have gone to make his garments, but he handpicked people that he wanted to work with and have nearness to them, and it was Europeans. He wasn't targeting his own people when it came to his garments. This stuff was overpriced and ugly, and he knew what he was doing, and he knew who they were. And he didn't even care. And he's that, I'm going to go tell my people, I can go back to my people now because I don't like the way you all are treating me.
Mm.
That's the only reason why he did what he's doing. He came back to us. Prior to that, he wasn't messing with us. He wasn't. Not on that level.
Mm.
Yet, I'm not going to pile on him because they say so. No, I don't do that. Not because they say so.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how you're supposed to be with them. And I know it's evil, what I'm saying. I know, like, if I got in the system with them, I'm supposed to kiss their ass and be cool so I can get almost $1 billion. And as soon as they do some old bullshit, nigga, I'm going to spaz the fuck out on their asses. Even though I don't like his agenda, I like his music, love his music, but I don't like his agenda. But he's the blueprint of
You're right.
whenever you do anything wrong, they're going to kick you out the banking system. They're going to fire you. They're going to try to take your kids from you.
But fact check it. That's not like this. He's not doing nothing that we ain't already know, bro. Like, what the fuck? Who the fuck? Like, mad people came before him with the same type of shit. He's just being highlighted now, my brother.
Exactly.
I've never seen nobody.
And not only that, the dude.
No, it don't have to be music though. Fact check it. Like different type of places of people who had, melanated, who have power, and they did some shit. Like I heard y'all say about Colin Kaepernick and shit. Like you got other people who did shit. They just look at Mahmoud Abdul Rauf, where back in the days this nigga never used to want to put his hand across his chest on the basketball court. They blackballed him, and he was nice. This is stuff right here that they do in different areas, not just music. So, I'm just saying, like,
but I'm saying somebody that might be about to win and show us
right.
the blueprint, show us how to do what they do, be beside our side, and cut their throat. And at the end of the day, I don't want nothing from you. I'm gonna give Caesar what is Caesar. Give me what's mine, and I'm gonna start my own cryptocurrency. And fuck your mama, you Jew. Move my fault, you ooh. I gotta respect that.
He should have been
more white people. He ain't giving all the white folks. My fault. Oh, go ahead, brother.
He should have been more strategic on his moves because you don't let them know your moves that you're going to make. He should have made moves that were so powerful by the time moves that they can't do anything about because it's too late for them to do anything. But when you tell these people what you're going to do, they have a counterattack. It's like you're boxing. You don't say, well, I'm about to throw a right hook. I'm about to throw a right cross or left hook or uppercut. You don't say that. You position yourself to do it. So they have no defense for it. That's how he should have moved. But he told them every punch he was going to throw, and they had counterattacks.
I think that is because they have indoctrinated us to actually fight the same way they fight, because that's the way they do shit. They actually reveal shit to you in plain sight and make it seems as if that, so it's like,
because they have
what I mean?
So because they have the power to do so. We don't have that power to do that.
Right. I got you.
And they run the propaganda machine. They can make any of us. They can make any of us with their repetitive propaganda machine into anything they want people to believe. All they have to do is keep saying it and give a template to all their media outlets, and people will start believing it.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in the greatest weapon ever formed is the propagation of media. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they do. They own the right to shape anybody's narrative who's willing enough to listen and believe what they say without going to actually look for themselves. So when you control somebody's narrative, you can control the way they're thinking and how they move because you're controlling the information.
Exactly.
So that would be another thing I would say, along with the financial thing. There would be some form of communication. Like even if it's going back to newspapers or whatnot, whatever it may be, something where we can have our own voice and our own reasoning and our own media. No middleman, none of that running anything.
That's important.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Because what you just said, I just want to bounce off of that right there. Is the three mediums that they're working with is the paper, the radio, and the TV. So basically, if we actually detached from those three mediums, basically, we would actually see less of what the hell they're doing. And I mean, I don't know if people watch it because they're trying to maybe gain, let's say, current events and knowledge about the current events and what's going on to be more prepared for what maybe they got planned. But then if we detach ourselves in certain ways from it, in ways that they depend on us, then that's what we need to figure out is that part right there. Figure out how can we detach ourselves from one of these mediums or all three of these mediums in a way where we know that it will kind of, like cripple their monetary gain in it. That's the whole way. Everything is about the money, bro.
Yeah, I agree with you that propaganda is everything, and I think that's when they losing that because I'm going on 50, so I look at people under my age or older than my age because I'm like, wait, in the pivotal middle, and most people younger than me, I ain't saying they don't watch TV, but they ain't junkies to the TV like my era and people older. You know what I'm saying? They got like YouTube and like you say stuff. So I'm seeing the system on this is leaning, but we need more messages like you saying, like to motivate people. We need to motivate more people to start doing things, and and I just think that it has to come with some type of financial benefit. And that's why I was trying to say I'm scared of saying the dollar, we should leave it, but I just think that Kanye West is doing a blueprint for us so-called people that want to get about this system and shit. You know what I'm saying? Without aggression.
We have to start somewhere, brother.
Exactly. Starting somewhere is a start. And even if it's not crypto, if he comes up with his own money that we can back it, and it's something based on even a dollar form, a fiat. We do it now. You know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't we do it then? That way they cannot really control it because money's only valuable to the people that deems it value, whatever the value is. So if we have our own and we're shopping with our own, we will cripple them instantly. I mean, it wouldn't be a question. Now, if you go crypto, they can control it. Because when I lived in Texas a couple of years ago, I'm pretty sure y'all remember there was an ice storm. A lot of 10 people died.
Yeah, I remember that.
Everything was out for 4 days, and it was snowing. You know what I mean? That let me know then, because when I went into grocery stores, everything was empty. It didn't care if you had crypto, if you had a dollar. Because first of all, gas stations wasn't taking no money because registers. You know what I'm saying? Then no electricity. So there goes your crypto. There goes your hard dollar. That showed me that really crypto wasn't that different from a dollar.
Yeah, exactly.
At that point in time, because I was in the same position, a man with $1 million in that grocery store or in that city. If you couldn't find it, you didn't have it because everything was gone.
Now, what I was saying about crypto, my fault.
No, you're good. But I mean, if it's that, I'm supportive of it, brother. As long as he shows me it's about us. If we can benefit off of it, okay. I don't know his personal.
Do any other brothers know what the American dollar is backed by?
Yeah, and I don't like when people that's wrong to say. Everybody has their own opinion. Yeah, say it like that. Like they'll say it's backed by gold, or they'll say it's backed by instruments. And instruments come off intellectual personal property. And
I truly believe it's backed by us.
I'm gonna give you my sentiment. I might be wrong, but I'm gonna give you my sentiment. What I think America's money is backed by. America's money is backed by, my humble opinion, military might. That's what it's backed by, because it's worthless. It's just a medium of exchange, because it's not the euro is worth more. It's not backed by silver. It's not backed by gold. Any actual precious metal or anything. And the only thing that America uses to do their bartering and their bidding with is at the Pentagon.
Hey, can I say something? Y'all can hear me?
Indeed.
Peace, everybody. You know what I'm saying? I hope you guys everybody's
peace.
having a good time with their families and stuff.
Salute, bro.
Salute.
So, that's a good question. What is the dollar backed by? And my first thought would probably be like, oh, gold. Oh, it's source of trust.
I got
oh,
it.
It's this or it's that. But if I want to be rigorously honest, lowest common denominator, the American dollar is backed by an idea. All currencies backed by an idea.
I can get with
Yeah.
that. I can get with that. I can get with
I
that.
feel you.
Me too.
I'm with that.
Hold up.
What people
That's
deem
all.
is valuable. Right.
So hold up. So check this out.
Right.
So, and then of course, anything that anybody else would probably say would pretty much be right. Like Nasir said, military might. Well, if the dollar's backed by the idea, and enough motherfuckers say that's a good idea, and then niggas got guns and fatigues, and they following orders of generals and shit, they gonna follow suit. The greatest weapon that has ever been formed, the greatest weapon to any fucking organization or any person is an idea.
And
That's
where's
what
Flint?
they use.
I can get with that, bro. I
And
can get with
where's
that.
Flint?
Hey,
Where's
one more
Flint,
thing.
Europe?
Hey, look, one more
Where's
thing,
Flint,
bro.
Europe?
Hey, hold up, bro.
Flint.
One more thing. Just hold up, one more thing, bro. And I'm not trying to combat with anybody. This is my idea, an idea. Don't be mad about my idea, right? So,
Good.
So with this idea of an idea, somebody said about the media or advertise whatever being a great weapon and stuff. And it's like, well, that's what it is. We all got our cell phones. They can get one idea out to everybody instantly.
Yep.
When y'all
got
see
it.
that dollar bill,
I think I got it.
It's backed by
I think I got it, y'all.
weapon.
Go ahead.
It's like you got to start looking at Flint, Michigan. There isn't a Flint, Europe, or a Flint, Arabia, or a Flint, Middle East, or a Flint, Africa. So before the weapon came, the flint that was in the ground that you need to make every gun in the world has to come from the flint rock. That's what the dollar is backed by. And then you make the gun that's come with the metals and the iron around it and the little plastic. Then you get the metal, the boots, and the war equipment that comes from the precious grounds of the land that make America's dollar real powerful. That's why it's hard to defeat this dollar, because Africa has a lot of resources, but we have the resources that this dollar is backed by, like the car. The automobile was made in America. So petroleum first was here in America, and this got pushed around the world. I'm saying the dollar bill is backed by a lot of things. People, just my opinion. There you go, my opinion.
For sure. Another thing too, right? And like I said, anybody's right, because when you kind of look at it as an idea, and it's not like a broad sweeping hate generalization or all be all, but it's like, what's not fucking backed by an idea? And let's look back at currency. So Shan Chi V says backed by our energy alone. So let's look at the word currency. All right. It's current as in new, as in now. So we use right now. It's also a current, like, Root loves talking about rivers and streams and stuff, the current that we flow through.
Indeed.
Yes, sir.
What else does a current do? A
Yes,
current is involved in electricity, with electricity charges and stuff. And let's say this, man, I don't got no money. I'm going to go steal something from the store so I can eat. I get caught by the police and shit. You know what the police going to do? They're going to charge me. They're going to charge me with ions, whatever you want to call it, with ideas. And they're going to bring me to court. And the court's like, we got to figure out something, because now you're charged with these ideas, negative ideas and shit. We got to get this currency back. We got to get the charge back to a balanced, alternate current. and like, you know what, this is what we're gonna do. We gonna convict you, and we're gonna put you in a cell until these charges have been depleted and restored to balance and shit. And so, you know, now you're a battery in the cell.
And
I
can
love what
So
you're saying, man.
let me elaborate on that real quick.
Okay,
Also, brother, you know, to your point, brother, Mental Ninja, and also while that person is incarcerated for that infraction, the state is getting money for them.
Yeah.
At the same time, if you're in the state of New Jersey, you're getting $40,000 a year per prisoner. So I can get with what you're saying, brother.
Have you seen Mad Max, the new one, right? Fury Road, one of my favorite movies, right? Where they call when they had him in that thing, they call him a blood bag. They're basically siphoning him, and they were basically like, you know, we talk about blood rituals and sacrificial rituals, all kind of stuff in the media and stuff, but like, you know, I practice magic, you know, ceremony magician and shit. But the idea of like lycanthropy and vampirism is like not just naturally the physical blood, but the physical blood is backed by something too, an energetic state of polarity and shit that powers the human body and stuff. So you can energetically drain somebody. You know, when you get those conversations with somebody and they're just fucking so draining, nigga. You're like, you after you're done talking to me, like you have a fucking emotional hangover, you want to go to sleep.
Yeah,
that kind of shit.
Yeah, I practice witchcraft too, though, and a lot of people don't understand. Like me coming on here and saying, "Hope everybody's day will go okay." That turns my blood and my chemical balance into a positive chemical balance. But if I come on here and say, "What the fuck is going on?" I don't care if I say it in a positive way or a negative way. That deals with your blood and your chemical balance. It's like a bass drum going boom. You know what I'm saying? It brings a different chemical balance in. So when you're dealing with witchcraft, they teach us that you got to do all this blood stuff and all this stuff, which that's your opinion. I'm saying it naturally comes with your words. That's why the word is God and God is the word. But God is inside of me, so I'm claiming that I'm the God that speaks the words and manifests my future through witchcraft. And that's why I'm called root word, though, without aggression.
Yeah, okay. You know, like even the idea behind that, man, is like, you know, self-proclamation, self-proclaiming God. It's basically like you discovered like Columbus discovered America. Okay, cool, whatever, right? But it's like you discovered something too, a country that's never been discovered, and it's been with you this whole fucking time. And you take power of attorney back from the state, back from society. So look, society, public opinion, they don't exist. They don't eat breakfast. They don't have a favorite color. They don't wear clothes because it's not flesh and blood. We follow the self is not flesh and blood. We follow the edicts and dictates of things that are not flesh and blood. Well, public opinion says, science says, the Bible says. Listen to the Bible and see if it says anything. What the Bible voice sound like? You know, science. Well, does science had a high pitched voice or low pitched? Science will say shit. You know what I'm saying? So once you self-proclaim yourself your own divinity and shit, bro, what you have done is you have put yourself, and this is the fucked up part, you have put yourself in universal accountability. So you are definitely in charge. You are in charge of how you use your energy and how you decide to charge other non-intelligent or profane or non-living cells. Even the living cells, you can charge, you can deplete their charges too. Now, one more thing, look. So
yeah, how you manipulate. That's what I'm trying to say. When you say manipulation, and I think most people opinion, this is my opinion based, going off the word that deals with energy, spirit, electricity, and manifesting the future. That's witchcraft, that's wizardry. And everybody else, they dilute it when they take it outside the words and don't know how to talk in tongues or Indiana Jones in another language, and start using blood and start putting adjectives and preservatives in it and start getting around the ring around the rosy. Just my opinion of it. I think they're going outside the naturalism of witchcraft, and that's watch your words that'll manifest your future.
Facts. You know, and then like, so when we go to work, right? We go to work for the entire week, 40 hours, right? And when we go, you know why they call it the weekend? Fucking because we become weakened. We're actually weakened from the depletion of our charges and shit. The dollar sign stands for the symbol is called scourge. And scourge means to give piece of soul for, give one's soul for, a part of oneself for. So as we
what does weak mean? What does weak mean? See, you made an example of witchcraft, and I'm just trying to show you an example of witchcraft the way I understand it. we can't use words like weak because they're double vision. Like I could say I'm weak because my brother beat me up, or I woke up and I'm weak because I haven't had enough sleep, or I could say next week I'm going to the store. So
you just say because your strength is drained also.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to say they tricked us with these words, like when a person say I am going to the store, we are looking out of our eyes. See, that's the witchcraft when we don't understand the natural tone of the word, and we take a word that it naturally don't mean that, and that's witchcraft. But I digress.
Well, I mean, really,
Yeah, I
essentially,
understand what
man,
he's saying.
no
That's
word
why I
means
play
anything.
wordplay, y'all. That's why I play wordplay, like the word blessed. You know what I'm saying? It's like be less. So like when you got the pastor, you know, putting his hand on your head and praying for you at the altar, it's like what he's doing is drawing your energy from your chakra, your crown chakra, and then you have the other deacons and the other people around with their hands outstretched towards you being prayed for. Now, at the end of the prayer, what happens is that he pushes you on the ground and you're supposed to go down and digress or regress while he tells you to be less or be blessed. And you just got your blessing or your be lessened.
Or in all actuality, being that the reverend or pastor is the one that's doing, he's probably telling you that to be less than he is.
Ooh.
You know, another thing too, right? Is
Or when y'all say pray,
when we talk about ceremonial, ceremonial magic, right? It's, you know what the word ceremonial means. Ceremony means like this is something that's involving more than just one person. There's onlookers, there's people that are paying attention to shit, and it's about the attention to shit and intention and motivation, right? So when that pastor's doing that, I guarantee you, bro, you're not going to catch a pastor in a secluded area where just him and a certain person. I mean, it does happen, and they're doing this dramatic dramatization with no onlookers. The whole point of doing it in front of the fucking multiple masses is to gain the focus. This is called action at a distance. Everybody's watching, and in the occult circles, we have this word called the egregor. And the egregor is basically a mystic energy that binds all things. Now, when humans,
that's what mono
means. When a group of humans are all focusedly intented on one thing, then that energy, the egregor energy, is funneling towards this one thing, the aspect of their focus. So whether the priest or the preacher, the pastor knows this, what they are doing, they have made themselves a conduit. And what they're doing is they're taking that energy, holding their hand up, and they're using it on you. And if you do not know your own energy nodes, your own energy purpose, and your own energy cipher, your root and your chakra, and all that comes between the other five chakras, then your energy will be depleted.
And that's what I'm trying to show you is that most of y'all that's in these secret societies, most of y'all that get these secret esoteric knowledge, most of y'all, I'm just saying my opinion, y'all don't have the knowledge of words to bring it out, because most of us speak in English, and we speak a dog English because we speak the American words. Like when we say we about to pray, if you're about to pray, that means you're about to go get a gun and hunt something. You a predator. That's what praying means. You're a predator.
So
I'm not saying you're wrong when you're meditating or you're pondering on the stars or you're coming up with a plan to manifest your future.
I see what you're saying.
You can't take manifest and turn it into two words. You can't take certain things and dilute that word, but you can dilute with witchcraft, pray. Oh, I'm about to go out here and pray for a new beginning. Hold on, what you mean? You about to go out here and be a predator? So I'm saying witchcraft is all in the words, and I just think that's what they don't teach us is in the American Black society is our words is everything. But
so look,
because words.
The secret society,
Hold up, hold up there, bro. Hold up, bro.
My bad.
Yeah, because the words is the spell, right? Because you got to spell a word, right? You got to spell the letters. Okay, the letters become words. The words is the sword, right? Words cut you. You know what I'm saying? Or the sword cut you. So it's like you're right about like, you know, you got. That's why I do the science called wordplay, because the first thing to basically dissecting or deciphering things is to see it. And if we are able to break down these compound words, most of the words are compound words, even if it's 4 letters two of those letters can be one word and the other two could be another word. You know what I'm saying? So even down to those 4-letter words can be broken down to the simplest form so that we could understand what the hell they was trying to say, just like those words that we just came up with.
Like when you
Lesson.
said letter,
So look, check this out real
like when
quick,
you
right?
said letter, the word
Yeah.
letter, you could say, well, I'm about to write a letter. And that's putting a
Mm-hmm.
whole bunch of letters together in a sentence.
There you
Or you
go.
could say, what is the letter C? So I'm trying to tell you, any word that has a double meaning is witchcraft. No other language in the Western Hemisphere has double meaning words.
Hey, check
And that
this
will
out, right?
knock you off your hemisphere. Like when we say sun,
It's good
the
teaching.
whole other language says the word soul. Like when we say solar, that means the sun. We ain't supposed to say the sun. That's talking about a little boy. Oops, I mean, that's talking about a single energy up in the sky. See, they dilute us with that. But I digress.
Hey, so check this
you
out,
good.
right? So, hey, Root, when you say like the secret society people, they don't know about the words, they don't the meanings and stuff. I wouldn't say that's true. Or I would say that maybe that's not correct because, you know, I'm a member of 2 different orders and shit, and I'll tell you this, bro. When we have like art, so in the OTO, there's one main ritual that kind of makes OTO what it is. It's the
What's
most
like
main.
y'all's rituals
Hold up, let me finish.
and y'all
What I'm saying,
studies
bro. Let
have
me
nothing
finish
to
what
do
I'm
with
saying,
words.
please.
I'm just backing it up what I'm saying. My fault.
I got you, bro. But this is what I'm saying is that, you know, and this is something that anybody can, if they really want to know, they can actually go to one of our Oasis camps, Oasis lodges, and this is a public event. Anybody can go see this. But it's the same thing said every single time. Every single time, it is the same vocabulary, it is the same words, and they're always said in the same pitch, the same tones, and it's for a reason. It is definitely for a reason. Matter of fact, even in masonry, they have their site, they have their apprentice degree.
What did you just say again about the same
Bro.
tones?
Before you go, let me finish real quick, right? And all that I'm saying is that if they didn't know the words, then why would it only be specific
You're
words?
practicing it, brother,
Bro,
and it's
let me finish.
disrespectful.
Bro, let me finish. I'm gonna get right to you. If they don't have knowledge of words and the meaning behind it and the energetic states of tones and vibration and harmonics, then why are they said the same words every single time? You cannot deviate. You cannot deviate from that shit.
Okay, that's why you can't deviate, because it's evil.
Bro, I'm about to give it to you, and I'm gonna let you go. That's why I brought that word egregoric energy, because if one person says the wrong word or one person makes the wrong motion or the wrong step, the energy is fucking basically annihilated and nullified. So it has to be specifically repetitive every single time. That's all.
Yes, you're saying it, but let me say it in the GED level. Everybody that's in a secret society has energy. So everybody in every city, there's at least 50 people in every city that can't talk to each other, but they have to say the same words to the people. You're totally right. And if they say the wrong word, they will get annihilated and their energy will get redistributed. That's saying that everything is about the words, my brother. And y'all will not tell us the truth because y'all have to be on code with the words that they present to y'all, my brother.
I mean, look, I'm gonna say this, bro. It's not like it's not like you come to me like, hey, bro, you know, what they tell you in your oath, and I'm like,
that was beautiful
look,
what
bro,
you just said. Thank you.
I'll let you go as soon as I'm done, and then we can go back and forth and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it'll be hard to do that if you like just keep jumping in. I'm gonna do my best not to jump in on you because I know I do it a lot too, bro. And all respect. So like, if you like, oh well, you're keeping the truth, you're not telling me, like, bro, I made an agreement that I wouldn't tell. If you really want to know, bro, I will show you where you got to go to find out, bro. It's not kept. It's like people just don't want to know. They want it given to without them doing anything for it. And I get that. I really fucking get that. I want a fucking brand new fucking Tesla, but I don't want to get my credit score up. That's what just fucking like me and shit, you know. So I totally get it. But go ahead.
Now I feel you. We both do this because we both practice it. We both practice it, and we've been doing it since we've been around each other. So it's no disrespect to you. I'm just like, you just told on the secret societies. You told that everybody. No disrespect, just 30 seconds. You just said that you have to be on code with your words. Everybody has to say the same word, be on the same vibration in them secret esoteric systems. So whoever is at the top of them esoteric system is giving y'all witchcraft words, letters that all of y'all have to be on code like a song, so y'all can narrate and give the illumination of what's going on in the world, and that's witchcraft. But I'm saying there's another version of witchcraft and that's just studying root words. You'll
No,
see
no,
through
bro. And
everything. That's what I'm
my
trying to see.
bad.
All I said is y'all don't practice words. Y'all don't practice witchcraft. Y'all practice words that are handed down to y'all, and if y'all don't do it, they will eliminate your energies and redirect them.
Hey, so Root, like, and I'm gonna say this, bro. You were
Now I'm asking you that, my brother. See, you keep
you're good,
avoiding
bro.
it because you're taught that. Do they redirect your energy or destroy it if you are off code with your words, sir?
So I'm gonna say like this, and I'm gonna say this. You're absolutely right, bro. You said a lot of stuff, and a lot of it, most of it was actually true because, and I'm gonna say like, so let's say we got you got your cell phone, right? And you have, you don't have your facial recognition to open your phone up, or it doesn't. So you can't do. You have a fucking mask on. You can't use your face to open your phone or your eye or whatever. So you have to put your PIN code in, your passcode. And if your passcode is 1234, and you put 1238, it cancels. If you put 1111, it cancels. You put anything other than the direct sequence of 1, 2, 3, 4, it nullifies it annihilates itself, and it cancels itself, and it doesn't connect to the node from not being open to open. Now, and I'm in total agreement with you, bro, because I'm gonna say this personally, since I am in the order and I deal with the head of the entire order every motherfucking Wednesday for a whole hour and shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about the whole entire order for all of North and South America and shit, which is there's two kings. There's one for the West, there's one for the East. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna say this: there are very, very, very few people who understand the power of the spoken word, the power of the double tongue and the double speak and shit. And the similarities of phonetics and why certain words are phonetically similar and stuff.
I'm a genius to have a GED, huh?
Bro,
to
look,
real,
most
huh?
of them, and I'm gonna tell you this, bro, root word. I'm gonna tell you this right now.
I'm gonna ask you one question though. If I accidentally went into one of them places with just my root word knowledge, I'll fuck around and get hit in the head, huh?
Nah, bro. Nah. What happened? The only thing, look, I'm gonna tell you this. You're really combative, and when you do say stuff, sometimes you say it in an assertive kind of way, like they're stupid. And I'm telling you this, bro. You would be educating the fuck out of motherfuckers because in OT on Thelema, it's kind of designed as a fucking a one-stop shop for all esoteric, occult, religious, mysticism, all that shit. So there's a lot of open-mindedness and stuff. Then there's not a lot of, but when you come with a specific degree of knowledge, they will listen and they will be like, holy shit. And this is the fucking crazy part about that, right? When we're talking, me and you, it'll either be a fucking shit show or it'll be like, fucking damn, bro, man, I fucking love you, man. We're the fucking most intelligent, man. We're doing good. And that's exactly how the energy works and shit. So if you're talking to them and you're fucking explaining the witchcraft from your position of what you understand as witchcraft, which is a valid position to them, and they might come from being Wiccans and stuff and that nature shit, you know what I'm saying? They might actually be real witches and warlocks and stuff. But you're speaking it from a different perception of the same kind of Wicca, but done with words. It will take them a second to get over their own fucking experience, what they think is good and true. But then they will understand, like, hold up, this guy is doing the same thing with words that we do with air, earth, water, fire, and spirit. That makes up the fundamentals of fucking the 5 point stars and Wicca and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, and to me, bro, I personally think I need more motherfuckers that think on a level like us than people just like to dress up and be part of a secret society and play dungeons. To them, it's fucking Dungeons and Dragons dress up. For me, this is fucking the sublime supremacy of occult understanding and shit. So you were absolutely right, bro.
I just think it's all about the words. And a GED ass nigga like me that been to the penitentiary, I will not take me to a so-called dick slanging contest. I will not take me to a fighting contest. So I'm just trying to say I'm in my mental right state of mind. But when it comes to these words, I understand wizardry. And that just means you're wise on words. And when you say you a witch, that's just a woman version of a wizard. Means you're wise at a certain, you can qualify yourself as being wise in a certain degree. That's all I'm so you're right. I do try to, and it's GED simple when you get a list from Google called the longest list of root words. That's why my name is Root Words. It's a symbol like Prince. And when you go through the root word list for 5 minutes a day for like a week straight, it will bring a different type of magnetic force because all them 300 words that are called root words, they make the English language and they make every last Western language. So now you're on harmony.
What list is this?
It's called just look up root words, and when you on Google, and when you go down Google, it'll show you. They'll say the longest list. It's all. I always did this on my YouTube channel, but I don't be trying to on my channel. But when you go to the longest list, it'll say the longest list of root words, and it's like 340 words. That's how many words is in the English language. There's 600 words in the English language, and then they start duplicating them words and start putting endings, and it's magic. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
And that's how I started my platform of understanding mentally everything is the word of God and God is the word. And if you believe in a higher being, the higher being said in Genesis 1 verse 26, I'm gonna make you. God made us in their image. So you do have some type of God in you. That's the best I can say. You can manifest your future.
Hey, Root, were you ever in the Moore Science Temple? That because I know you deal with the Moore stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I was a blessing to never. I was always a follower, but I never was a joiner. I'd always follow somebody to the point. So yes, I was a Moore, but I never joined none of that. Nope, I never been to El Bay, Day Ali, never wore. You see my fez right there. It's called a Nez Pierce, and that takes us back when. You feel what I'm saying? I just go before the feds, and they hate me for that.
I got you, bro. So like basically, so I'm gonna tell you like
they're my dads and moms though.
Oh my bad.
But you're right though. They're my dads and moms of knowledge. Yes.
All right. So look, we have a similar conception within. It's not even in the OTO. So OTO is a secret society, you know, created by Masons about 120 years ago and shit. It was like it was supposed to be an added part of Masonry, but they wanted to bring women in, and the other Masons like, oh, we don't change nothing. This is a men's only thing. And so they're like, well, we're going to bring women in. So they're like, you know what? We're going to get approval from the Grand Lodge in England. And if we can do this, and they gave approval, and they made it a different society called Ordo Orientis and shit. And it is Masonic. It is got the Illuminati degree, the actual Illuminati degree system, and their mode of recognition is the only way you're going to find that shit is in this place. And it's got Rosicrucian in the symbolism. It's got Golden Hermetic Order, the Golden Dawn in the ritual magic. And it kind of grew over about the next 40 years to acquire like all these other aspects. And Aleister Crowley basically redid the whole OTO and added Thelema and the Golden Dawn shit, you know what I'm saying? And it became what it is today. But Aleister Crowley made something separate. It's called the AA, the Argentum Astrum or Astrum Argentum. And basically this is like what root words would be. You don't join the fucking Moore Science Temple, but you were able to obtain everything that they can obtain through their level. That is, you know, I'm sure that the Moore Science Temple has like a beginning stage or training stage, beginning, you know, mediocre, advanced, adept, legendary. And you can't just go to the top. You have to go through fulfill a bunch of functions and stuff to unlock the next level. But what the AA is, it is a solo individual journey where basically the individual is able to, like the 5% they call it, learning through osmosis, which you don't have it enlightened. You're dispensing this information to you in a certain way, in a certain system of performance, but you're able to learn on your own through osmosis and shit, like literally soak it up as you walk past it and shit. And so people think like, oh, we have to join a secret society. And I think we're the only secret society that actually has this, other than the 5% that actually has, like, no, you can learn it on your own. There's no there's no rituals, there's no group meetups, but you're going to attain the same thing that you will attain in the OTO, and you will attain it a lot fucking faster. It takes like 20 years to get to like the fucking 13th degree. 20 fucking years, man, to get to like the 5th degree, the 7th degree. It's like 7-8 years. You know what I'm saying? 1 degree lasts fucking 3 or 4 years. You know, so that's why I want to let people know, like, when you think, oh, they're holding the information, hold on, no, bro. They're holding their system how they do it. But you can do it through osmosis. Many of us have been doing it through osmosis, not knowing that we're knowing the same shit that they know. We just don't know their exact interpretation and their exact recipes for how everybody makes a motherfucking peanut butter jelly sandwich different. There's only a couple ways though, but they might start with the jelly first. They might start with the peanut butter first. They might grab the bread first and lay the bread out. They might grab the peanut butter out the refrigerator first, whatever. They might use a spoon on both, and they might use a knife on both. They might have peanut butter jelly both in one jar and shit. So there's many ways to skin a cat, you know. So when people are like, oh, they're hiding secrets, like, I'm gonna tell you right now, they're not hiding shit. You can go learn and find out for yourself, but it's everything is all you need to do is, like Ruth said, is go to the root. And what is the root of all your words? You. are the root. You are the Malkuth. You are the crown shot, the earth chakra and shit. It's all contained in you and stuff. And that's why, you know, when we're talking about, you know, how they use words, the only way we can understand they're using words in special ways because we ourselves, the individual, can use words in a special way. And like is known to like. I digress.
I'm just glad we on the same page that at the end of the day, whether it's secret or not secret, that we got to watch our words.
Oh, for sure. Oh, bro, look. Hey, look. I'm gonna tell you this, man. Like, I remember I'm a deacon in the OTO for the Gnostic Mass, and you had to memorize a fucking shitload of shit. You know what I'm saying? And when I did my first, you know, the bishop has to see if I can do it. So I do the whole thing, you know, without all the everything, you know, all the ritual room set up and everything, and people watch. I basically do it, you know, charade, or, you know, I just do it out fucking acapella. And I said one of the names wrong. You know what I'm saying? And the bishop stopped me. He said, "You said that name wrong." And he told me how to pronounce it. He says, Alphonse Louis Constant. Because I said, Alphonse Louis Constant. He said, no, it's Alphonse Louis Constant. And that's Eliphas Levi's real name. And so it's important on how you use the words. And if you don't care if you're saying the words right, if you're doing it right, bro, then you like don't care how that word's gonna be perceived. And so whatever happens. They fucking try to kill you. Well, you know, you didn't know what you were saying.
When you say the word son, you're bringing a spirit out there that's playing hip hop and rock and roll at the same time. That's like turning on the station and you hear Bon Jovi and Biggie at the same time. It's disruptive. It's a confusion. It's staticky. See, so when you say a word son, you're bringing hip hop and rock and roll in there. What I mean by that is saying that when you say the word sun, you're talking about a star that's in the sky that's right next to the earth that comes out every day, or you're talking about a child.
Oh,
See,
hold on.
what you know what I'm saying?
What was the second one? What was the second one?
A child. The sun.
Oh, okay. I thought you said a cat. I was like, hold on. What? Explain. Tell me this.
You see what I'm saying? Like, that's all I'm trying to say is that's dangerous when people that's being taught how not to do, how to be a witch or a wizard, and people that ain't taught being a witch or a wizard is dangerous when they only know a subject language that was handed to them and they don't know their language or any other language. That's dangerous. You feel what I'm saying? So a person that is a so-called American black guy that get handed the Webster's dictionary book and then they go into a secret learning only in English where you don't have a fine, like you can't turn it on 107.5 and you're going to get directly hip hop. You can't turn it on 106.3 and get oldies but goodies rock and roll. Every time you turn it to a channel, it brings some type of where you get 2 or 3 channels. So you're fucked up from the beginning. And that's the power they got over us is witchcraft and wizardry. But I agree.
Hey, Root. So if I was like, hey, Root, you a wizard, would that make you mad? Would that you find that insulting?
A wizard in word. Like I told y'all, I'm only a wizard. I have wise knowledge in root words and understanding the Western language. All 200 and some countries in the Western language, I could break their language down.
For sure.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm a wizard at that. That only means you're wise male at that. That's all that means. So if you're saying you're a wizard, what are you a wizard at, my brother?
So look, and that's the dope thing about words, right? Especially this word right here, because when somebody says the wizard, I really have one fucking image in my head. A Gandalf looking nigga, some Merlin motherfucker and shit. But we understand, like you said, you broke that down, is that obviously wiz is wise. It stands for wise, which is like, you know, fucking, you know, I'm not sure what the etymology of wise is, but it's not intelligent. This is not being smart. This is not having knowledge. This is something kind of like
Sophie
living. it's something almost crafting of its own. Aware, to be wise is like more than awareness of all knowledge, wisdom, understanding, whatever you want to call it. But the part about the ard. Now, how does that come into play? Well, we have that nigga's a drunkard, and we're dealing with fucking like old English. It's like an old English word, right? I believe, right? Because it has the word the suffix ard in it, and basically when you're a drunkard, then basically you're fucking somebody who is a professional at this. In a way,
Right.
this is something
Yeah,
that you do all the time. So if you're a
let me jump
wizard,
in.
you are a professionally
Tag,
wise man. Go ahead.
tag, I'm it. Yeah, so yeah, the wizard. If y'all looking at it in the good term like that, yeah, wizard or wisdom. The prefix of wisdom is a wise dome. Dome being referred to as the head. So, okay, you got a wise dome. Okay, doing these wise things by dissecting these words. Words, wizards. Wise dome actually speaks wise things after learning knowledge. So a man who's a wizard would be basically a wise person who has the skills to basically do what we're doing, dissecting certain things that's basically thrown at him. That's it.
Facts. That's why I asked him where his, because I'm not wise at fighting, even though I done won some fight. The hood thing. Okay, I can fight decent, but when it comes to fighting, I'm not wise at fighting. You know what I'm saying? I'm not wise at math, but I'm wise at words. So that's why I asked my brother, "What are you wise at, my brother?" Like I'm wise at driving a motorcycle. You feel what I'm saying? I could pop a wheelie, I could drop it. I know how to do a couple. So I was just asking my brother, what is your wisdom? What can you stand on? That's all I was asking.
Hey, and look, when we talking about sun, right? Sun is the word sun, S-O-N, is phonetically, it is the same word phonetically as the word S-U-N, S-O-N, S-U-N. And so Father's Day is on a Sunday. Is that correct? I was asking a question.
No, I'm just saying when you say the word father, when you go down to the root word, it goes to the pater.
I was going.
The pater is the patriarch.
Hey, but
I
look,
got something else for the word father when he's finished. But go ahead and finish making your point, bro.
I was saying like Father's Day is on a Sunday. Father's Day is always on Sunday, on a Sunday, right? So the question is it the Father's Day or is it the Son's Day?
Yeah, that's the analogy that brother up here is trying to tell you, that they got two meanings with these words and stuff like that. And
it's two implications in it.
Yeah. So you got the good one and the bad one. You got good, and most of it is basically bad, really. But we'll say, if you look at the word father, you got the word fat her. If you take those two words and break it down, you got physically to fat her, physically to, impregnate the woman. That's what the word father is. Fat her. Physically.
I gotta agree in a sense on that though, because when it comes to the word pater, father, the patre, the pater, you know what I'm saying? That's the paternal, the fraternity, because when you're dealing with phonetics, them is the same damn, just the fraternal,
the pattern.
Yeah, it's the fat her, and it's who she gave the rights to that kid. The fat her, when she's done being fat, she the one who say, look, that's the daddy, or that's the motherfucker that I want by my side. And that's what a lot of fathers and patriarchs don't want to talk about. And it's all through the words, without aggression.
You know what? And I think that is kind of a shame, bro. Like, I never really, when we go to school, bro, and we learn English and shit, and like, the alphabet and shit, and in first grade, second grade and shit, and then English and all that stuff. We're never taught. We're never graded on our tests if these are correct. There's only one way to be correct, is through repetition. So basically, we're agreeing something, saying this is true because they ask the question on the test, which one's the right spelling, and we say, oh, this one is. It doesn't mean that this is true. It just means that we can repeat the information. And so we believe that because we can repeat the information is automatically true. And that's not true.
It's a good subject though. I'm just glad that you said that though, and I'm glad that I'm keeping on this practice of words because I'm almost done with this so-called you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna copyright my name like the Phoenician Dre. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're dealing with phonetics, you're dealing with sounds of words. Like when we're dealing with English, there's no such thing as let me make sure I say this right. There's no such thing as A-E-I-O-U. There's just no such thing. It's Santa Claus. There's no such thing. A whole bunch of black and white Americans think there's A-E-I-O-U. There's no such thing. So when you understand the phonetical tone, you'll get on tone with the world and you'll understand what language is. And that's just the best I can say. They trick us through the language. I'm going to say it one more time. There's no such thing as A-E-I-O-U. A is spelled A-Y-E. E, okay, I'm going to say E, but I is spelled E-Y-E. O is spelled O-H. And U is spelled Y-O-U. E, okay. Seed, beat, sweet, E, okay, that's a perfect sound. But when you get the A, that's what you call a diphthong. That's when you have two vowels that come together. It's AI really. When you say A, when you say O, that's a diphthong. The whole world they don't even know what a letter is. They're like, what the fuck is a letter? That's something that you get in the mail. They understand diphthongs and monophthongs and consonants. It's called the IPA. It's simple phonetics. It's any dictionary you go to, it's the word right under it. The whole world get taught this shit, but basic public schools in America. But I digress.
Hey, Root, and I'm glad you brought that up about the AEIOU, right? Because in our Gnostic Mass, bro, and in many of our rituals, our ceremonial magical rituals that we have in the OTO, you know, we do have something very similar to that to AEIOU, but it's put in different order, and that is EIO. And basically, phonetically, you have AEIOU, but not AEI. It's E-I-O, and it's all the vowels. And it's said, I don't know, I'm gonna find out because I don't know why is it said in that way, because since you brought that up, I was like, damn, that's the EIO. And that is supposed to be like, I think it's used as like a fucking kind of like a portal opening type, you know, situation. Like you're actually drawing in something, some kind of energetic force through through saying it like that. And it's like it's done in a mantra form. Like before the ritual, before we do the Gnostic Mass, all the people that's going to be in the Gnostic Mass, like the deacon, the priest, the priestess, the two children, we all are in a separate room, and we, you know, get our energies together, and we do that like fucking hardcore, loud, and we say it for a long time and shit. And it's supposed to raise the vibration level and shit before we actually go out and start performing the Gnostic Mass. You know, the ceremony begins. But when you brought that up, the AIOU thing, I'm about to find out as fast as I can. Like, why is AIOU in the OTO as EIO? What is the significance of it? Because it's really important. That's why we use it.
In all Western languages, let me make sure I do it right. O, oi, o, o. That's vowels right there. We're talking. I mean, there's over. Let me make sure. There's nine. There's over 22 vowels in English. There's over 22 vowels, but they're sounds. Like when you say America, that's an A. When you America, that's an A. But when you say D, that's an A. But when you say at, that's an A. See, there's 3 different A's in America. Really, there's 5. But us in English, they put us letters so we don't understand how to get taught no other language. That's why everybody can come over here from a third world country that ain't never went to school in their life, and they can pick up on languages like it ain't shit.
Hey, Root. Hey, so I just fucking found what I was fucking looking at, what I was asking about in this book. But look, hey, that's true, man. is that A isn't the only vowel that there's many different dialects of A within the fucking the English codex and shit. And I've been learning patois, right? So it's e, o, u. And that almost sounds like African, the way the 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 I, the O, the U. It doesn't sound English. It sounds like accented, like, you know what I'm saying? You know, patois is like a subcategory dialect of, like, you know,
German.
English and Irish
German.
and go ahead.
German. Like, no, I'm saying you're right though, but like when we say, like when we'll say, like, let me try to say this right. When we say flu or blue or cool or do, you hear the ooh. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of English, but every last Western other languages, especially German, they don't go ooh, they go ooh, ooh, ooh. Like they won't go flu, they'll say flu, they'll say blue. You know what I'm saying? It's beautiful when you know this shit. And I'm a GD ass nigga. I understand they caught us on words. And here, I can even show it to y'all right here. Like, I'm almost done with my phonetic vowel list right here, where like let me make sure. Okay, we over here at brown. When you say ow, brown, pound, noun, ow, out. See, this is the letter for it. It's AU. See, they'll say it's out. They'll say it's ow. See, that's the sound right there. It's ow.
Yeah, it is.
When you say noun, pound, brown, this is the ow sound. This is the A sound right here. Ow. When you say hey, same, made, place, A. See, you spell it like this, EI. See, all these like it's really, I'm almost done with this. Like, I'm becoming a Phoenician. Like, and this is in my fault. This is in English, Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, French, and right here is German. It's the same sound, but it's just they told a little different though. And words is the truth, man. It'll make you feel good of a person after you understand this shit. Like, man, we've been tricked. It's just getting out of a bad relationship.
No, it's dope, bro. Like, owl is not with an O.
That's good teaching, brother. I appreciate that. Good teaching, brother. I appreciate that.
Thanks a lot. I know I'll be sounding crazy, but
brother. Keep going, brother. You don't sound crazy to me.
No, you rocking it.
I'm just trying to tell you that a GED guy can learn this stuff through the root words, and all you got to do is with it 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes a day, just study some words.
In my humble sentiment, you don't need their letters for validation among your people, brother.
Right, and I would say, and that just goes to show you their curriculum and their skill level doesn't mean anything if a brother with that so-called GED level can break down so eloquently the way you be doing with words, my brother. That shows you their curriculum or their scale ain't right. So you don't have to put up with that. Your work speaks for itself.
No, you know,
exactly. And the good thing is, brother, they can't take credit for you.
Hey, bro, on top of that, it's like he just showed me right here that OWL, owl, is fucking, it's an A. Then why even use the O to say owl? And that just shows like the inconsistencies and like hidden inconsistencies that are meant to go unnoticed and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro,
if I have a destiny in life, it's to come out with the Murphy's Dictionary. And that's a vehicle to show everybody that shit's a farce. And here go the only way you're going to learn your other language if you want to do it. You have to understand the 9 parts of speech. You have to understand sounds. And you have to understand the concordance or coordinating with the Western sound. I don't think people want to be an alpha. My fault. An alpha means, when you look at the root word of alpha, it means separate, apart, and alone. Be careful when certain spirits out here want us to be alphas, which means we're separate from everybody else, which means we're alone. And there it is right there. We want to be in harmony with the world. My opinion of it, but I digress.
Good shit. But brother, I'm gonna conclude this stream. If you have anything, in closing, please do so. And I just want to let you know that I appreciate you coming up and blessing us with your knowledge and blessing us with your contribution and your presence. I appreciate it. And we got to do it again. Anytime you see this channel live, I'm going to put the link in the chat, and you're welcome. Just want you to know.
Thank you for having me up, man. I think we all give our contributions. I just accidentally went through the more science, and I never joined that shit. I just a teacher Taj Tariq Bey and Dr. Abdullah Mosley Bey taught me that it was in the words, and I took this on my own and did this. But I think we all give contributions, and yes, it'll be an honor to come over here, and not just this subject, any subject, because it's respectful, and we all ain't cussing each other out, even though we disagree. I honor these type of subjects, and I honor this, brother.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. And you need to be in the classroom too, brother. We talked about that earlier, and you need to be in the classroom teaching our children. They need to know that.
For sure.
Thank you. I'm almost there. That's my destiny.
For sure. Thank you for having me too, brother. I appreciate it.
Thank you for
Hit the
coming.
like and subscribe, y'all. We'll be back.
Yeah.
This channel gonna grow.
Absolutely.
And I thank my brother Shan TV for coming through. I thank brother God Body, Smoke Signal. I appreciate you all for coming through. And I'd like to thank my other half, the editor and chief of this channel, Mrs. Enemy Public. And I'd like to thank Mind's Eye for coming through. This is the Enemy's Public. I am Bro.Nasir. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section. Peace.